Good morning. I'm assuming you can hear me. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to go live in just 1 second. Matter of fact, let me go grab some water and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to go live in just a second here, so I appreciate everybody that's hanging out. All right, let's see. Let's go live. I hope I hit the right one. That should be it. You guys should see me. So how you doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. Oh, I see Ray Ray's here. How you doing? Hasdor, I see you're here. How you doing? Honestly, I don't even have an agenda. I was just like, I haven't gone live since last week. Why don't I just go live? Because I actually am in between meetings. Like, my work schedule's been killing me the last couple days. I've actually, probably in the last 2 days, I've gotten, I don't know, maybe like 4 hours of sleep. I actually finally got some good sleep last night, but just dealing with day job stuff. It's been a little hectic, but not to mention I've been under the weather. That's why I didn't go to DICE this year. I'm still recovering from this crazy sinus infection that I had, but yeah, I'm doing okay now, getting better. And obviously yesterday we did South of Midnight preview. Tomorrow will be the review for Avowed. I've actually already recorded 2 reviews for that, one for Gamertag Radio and then one for Kind of Funny. So I think what will happen is the Gamertag Radio review will be out at embargo at 6 a.m. and then Kind of Funny's review will be out during their normal time slot after KFGD, so probably around 11:15 a.m. Pacific time or something like that. It was pretty good. Both were good conversations for various reasons, which I won't say now. Obviously, everybody will find out tomorrow. But I'm definitely curious to see what everyone that has been playing Avowed thinks about it, because I purposely isolated myself. I didn't want to know what anybody thought, any of that. There's probably only 2 people that I talked to that I know what they thought about Avowed as we played through it. So it's going to be very interesting tomorrow to see the different reactions about it and all that. So we'll see. Again, no hints on what I think, other than you'll get it tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific. And what else do we got here? Just looking at the chat. Appreciate everybody hanging out here in the chat. I see. Oh, Khalif, get better already. Yeah, bro, I don't know if you can see like my right eye. It's still like weirdly swollen. I went to the eye doctor Friday, because like I already knew I had a sinus infection it was, but I went to the eye doctor on Friday anyways, just to get it checked out. And he loaded me up on all kind of crazy antibiotics and steroids and all that stuff. That's why I was like, I'm not going to go to DICE, because I just didn't know how I'd feel. Like yesterday, actually, I was having some weird headache issues, stuff like that. So, I was like, I'm glad I didn't go. And what else do we have? Just finished Black Myth. What's funny about Black Myth? I started playing Black Myth over the holiday, and boy, that game was whooping my ass. And then other stuff came up. I need to get back to a beautiful game though. I love the challenge that it provides, because you definitely get that skill check right up early on. That first boss early on checks your ass, and then once you get past that, it eases up a little bit. But then, man, it scales up after that. But great game, really good game. What's going on here, King James? And again, I appreciate everybody in here hanging out. Like I said, I'm just doing a random stream. I have no agenda at all on any of this. So obviously participating with everybody here talking, I appreciate it. So you got any questions or anything you want to throw at me, let's just go ahead and do it. And we'll have a conversation. I also have Discord. So if anybody wants to come up and chat, you can definitely do that as well. I know Khalif, I see you're there, so I don't know if you got time, but yeah, man, we're just having a conversation, And what is Samson asking me? Most hyped game of 2025? That is such a loaded question, because there's a few different games that I'm anticipating, like I think right off the top of my head, anticipating Fable, if it does come this year. They said this year, so I assume it will. Ghost of Yotei is another one. Grand Theft Auto 6 almost doesn't even count at this point. I know one that's coming in March I'm anticipating is Atomfall. They actually just put out a new trailer today. Again, AA game, but got to play it at LA Gamescom, and it looks fun. It's right up my alley, so looking forward to that. God, Outer Worlds 2, I'm looking forward to. I mean, we'll obviously see when Switch 2 finally gets revealed, the games. I would assume Mario Kart's going to be there at launch, so I would anticipate that. Metro Prime 4, I'm looking forward to. Knock on wood, if we get 3D Mario this year, that's something else I'd be looking forward to. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's going to be coming out this year. 2025 is shaping up to be a really good year. Ironically enough, I will just say this for the record, like Doom is coming out in May. I've not been the biggest Doom person. I'm going to play it. I'll check it out. Doom the Dark Ages. It looks good, but that's not just been my thing to play. But I know a lot of people will be anticipating that as well. You know what? I never actually gave my preview thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. So you know what? I will do that right now. I just thought it was okay. I think Ghost of Tsushima does it better. That's my simple opinion on that. It's not bad. It was somewhat enjoyable, but I just felt like there's another game out there I played a few years ago that does this better. In simple terms, we'll obviously see once the full game comes out. I'll review it and all that. But during the preview, that was just kind of my thoughts going through it. And I've read the previews. I know some people really loved it. Some people had a lot of issues with it. I think I'm just kind of in the middle on that. Oh, Winter Burrow. I played that at LA Gamescom as well, and pretty good. Again, smaller AA game, but I'm looking forward to that. Definitely, it's kind of what's the genre? It's not a survival. Is it a survival game? It kind of is. You're collecting resources and you got to do different things. It was a fun little game. And good morning, everybody. Appreciate it. And what is one thing saying? Parris, a Spanish website leaked that the next Bungie game is not coming to Xbox. If true, any thoughts? I'm not surprised. I mean, Marathon's going to come to Xbox because they already said it. But with everything that's been happening with Bungie over the past few years and PlayStation taking more control, it would not, because I saw the same thing too. It would not shock me if they had a single player game that they're like, look, we're going to put it on PlayStation, obviously PC, we'll put it on Switch, but no, we're not going to put it on Xbox. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand when we talk about multi-platform and exclusivity and all that. PlayStation is not going to do what Xbox is doing. It's just not. I definitely see them still wanting to be competitive in that way and not give their competitor their games if they can help it. So I don't think they're going to do what Xbox is doing. I think them putting on the Switch is less risk averse. And obviously everyone's putting everything on PC at this point. So yeah, I that wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all if that's true. And like I said, maybe we'll find that out later today at the State of Play. And any game you would love to see at today's PlayStation State of Play, would love to see more of Ghosts of Yotei. I mean, that's period, point blank. I think this is still way too early to see Wolverine, so I'm not expecting that from Insomniac. I would love to see some of their other studios, see some of their other big games, which that's not my expectation for this one, but it is 40 minutes. We'll see. Do not be shocked to see some Xbox games at this presentation. It will not surprise me at all because that's just where they're headed. But it'll be interesting. I'll be tuning in. I know IGN reached out to me about potentially doing Twitter Spaces after, because I won't be on Kind of Funny Stuff because they do the live reacts in studio. So it doesn't make sense for me to be remote for that. So I won't be doing that. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Like I said, I might hop on Twitter because I ain't calling it X. With IGN and kind of react to it after. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, actually, let me make sure I don't have any super chats because I'm reading this off of, and I don't. Okay, and that's fine because I'm not asking for any. But yeah, let's see what other questions we got here. Thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds? Not my thing. I think I might have played Monster Hunter for an hour total. It's just not my thing. So I didn't inquire into it or anything. And I don't want to break any embargoes or things, but I know people that are playing it. So I guess whenever the embargoes come up, you know, they'll talk about their experience, but just not my thing. PlayStation needs a smart delivery type feature. Yeah, I would love that. I would love to see them have smart delivery. I would love to see them have quick resume. I think them doing smart okay, let me back up. What I would love, and they're not going to do this. I would love them to adopt what Xbox does is I buy the damn game once. I can play it anywhere. You know, as far as upgrades, things like that, they just roll out. I don't have to do anything. I would love to see that happen. But that's not their philosophy. I think this is what I hope they do, at least for the PC to console, that if you're on PSN and I buy the game on PlayStation 5, I buy it on PC, I can sync my progress back and forth so that if I'm playing Ghosts of Yotei on PlayStation 5 and then I decide PC version comes out, I want to hop on PC, all my progress, everything follows me there and then back to the console. That is something Xbox does right now very well, and I would love to see PlayStation be able to do something similar. I don't think they will have you just buy the game once, though. I think they will absolutely have you double dip, that if you want to play on another platform, you need to buy it again. So that won't surprise me. The peddler of positivity is alive. Yeah, alleged positivity. Some people think I'm a bully, but I'm not. I just call it like I see it. If you listen, do I listen to podcasts or music at the gym? Yeah, both. It just depends. I mean, I have my playlist, my get hyped up playlist that I'll listen to on Spotify. And then, yeah, I listen to podcasts all the time. I mean, whether I'm at the gym, obviously just working, driving somewhere, commuting, whatever, I'm always listening to podcasts. What else do we have here? And Tucker, I did see your Discord message. I might do that in a minute, but I did get your message just so you know. How long do you stay at the gym? 45 minutes to an hour, or just depends. It could be longer. Just depends on what I'm doing. How about them Lakers? Hey, crazy. That Saturday night was wild because I was watching Royal Rumble, so I was not watching the Laker game. And then when the Royal Rumble ended, I watched the last part of the fourth quarter of it, and I'm like, oh, LeBron's going off. You know, Austin Reeves is doing his thing. Okay, wow, we're going to beat the Knicks because I didn't think they'd beat him without AD. And then I was watching the post game with LeBron, and LeBron was praising AD in the post game. And then I went back and I'm watching the Royal Rumble like post game stuff, and then I got a text that said, oh my God, have you seen this? And I looked and it was like Luka. They just traded AD for Luka. And I was like, wait, what? I go, this ain't real. There's no way this is real. So I click on the link because it was Shams on Twitter. And I'm like, this can't be real Shams. So then I go to the profile. Wait, this is the real Shams. And I'm like, damn, did somebody hack him or something? I know everybody says that, but that was my thought. Did somebody hack Shams? This can't be real. And then I was like, let me go to ESPN. And then I go to ESPN and they're like, breaking news. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then the fallout since from that, honestly, is even crazier. You traded Luke, and there's various stories, but you did a deal that nobody knew about, one-on-one with Rob Plank. And I get that Nico and Rob were boys with the Kobe stuff and the Nike things and all that. But you do this secret deal that only they knew about and the owners knew about. Obviously, of course, Jeannie's going to sign off on it. I knew she would. But Mav owners are signing off on this. And then you do the deal. You let Rob Pelinka talk you out of compensation. So you got less than what you initially asked for. Then you basically try to fat shame Luka on the way out, who is 25 years old, generational player, just took you to the finals. You know, his scoring averages regular season and playoffs. In playoffs, only Michael Jordan has a better scoring average than he does. In regular season, only Wilt and Jordan has a better scoring average than he does. Not to mention how generational he is as an assist guy, just all of that, right? And you literally just hand this guy to the Lakers for AD, who I love, by the way. He's amazing, but has a history of being injured. We know his history. We know AD was never going to be the number one guy. Luka's the number one. He's an alpha. AD is not an alpha guy. That's why LeBron is still the alpha guy of the Lakers, despite him being 40 years old. And you just hand him over to the Lakers. You literally set up the Lakers for the next decade, right? When everybody was like, all right, LeBron, we're at the end. LeBron, God, who knows what's going to happen with AD? It's probably going to be a rebuild. And you just gave him to us. So it's insane. It's insane to me. And then to see, even just in the little limited time, him playing with LeBron the other night against Utah, and obviously Utah is terrible, but it's going to be fun to watch, man. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to win the title or anything, but we are set up to remain contenders beyond LeBron in the next 2 years, because after LeBron leaves, now you're going to open up another cap slot to bring in another superstar to play with Luka. And the line is going to be around the block. Not number one, because it's Luka. And number two, it's the Lakers. It's LA. It's just what we do. It is insane that the Lakers, since Wilt in the 60s, just seem to always find a superstar. They always do. First it was Wilt. Then it was Kareem. Then you had the Cavs owner in the late 70s, early 80s, forget how it went down, but dumb trade deals that essentially handed us 2 number 1 overall picks, which turned out to be Magic Johnson and James Worthy, right? Go from that, a little bit of downtime, obviously. Look, the Van Exel, Ceballos era of the 90s, you know, Eddie Jones and all them. It was, you know, they weren't great, but it was fun to watch them. And then boom, Orlando does something stupid and just hands a Shaq, right? Because you didn't want to pay him. Insane. Jerry West does his thing, gets Shaq to come, and then sees this kid in a workout with Chick Hearn and goes, I got to get him. And that just turned out to be Kobe Bryant. You also drafted Derek Fisher in that same 96 draft, and you just said, again, the three-peat, Phil Jackson, come, all that. Then the Powell trade, which was to the exact day of the Luka trade on February 1st, back in 08, sets up another run, you know, with Kobe and Powell. Then obviously the downtime again, LeBron comes and boom, here we go. It's crazy. It is just crazy, the Lakers' luck that they've been in this position for all these decades. All right, I've been ignoring the chat, so I do apologize as I kind of ranted on the Lakers there. What else do we have? Let me see. Brad, any new recent feelings about Embiid now after last night's choke, refusing to take open three-pointer to win the game? Here's what I'll say about Embiid. I mean, he just has always been injured. And basically the most success he ever had was when Ben Simmons, before he, you know, lost his edge. And then when Jimmy Butler was there, that was the team, and they lost to Kawhi. And when Kawhi hit that shot, you know, fading baseline, and it bounced and it went in, that was their year. If they were ever going to get to the finals, that was the year. And then you even had, a couple years after that, where Ben Simmons obviously choked, where he should have dunked that ball. I guess that was game 6, I think. And instead he passed it, and Ben Simmons has never been the same since. And, you know, you should have beat the Hawks right there. You would have gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals. You had a great chance of beating the Bucks because I want to say, did he get hurt in that series? But anyways, Giannis got hurt at some point. It was conference finals or in the finals. But anyways, you had a chance to beat the Bucks, and then obviously you would have faced the Suns that year. That was it. I think that window's passed. Paul George is more interested in making podcasts than he is playing basketball at this point. So it's unfortunate. I don't even know what to say in Embiid. Yeah, and he refused to take that shot. I don't know. I don't even know. But okay, but let's go back to this chat here. And I apologize, I've been ignoring stuff. Blink twice if you're liking Avowed. I'm blink there. I did so many you don't know. See, I'm not telling you nothing. You will have to wait until tomorrow at 6 a.m. to see what I think about Avowed, along with everyone else. Because I'm excited to see what everybody else thinks about Avowed, just to be honest with you, because I don't know. And I'm excited to hear it. I only know what I know. Danny, Greg, and Andy. Oh, and Mike, because Mike played a little bit, but Mike, I guess I get a little sneak peek. Mike hosted the Kind of Funny review for Avowed, but it was myself, Greg, and Andy who actually reviewed it. Greg and I completed it. Andy had not completed it, but it was great to get those different perspectives. And then obviously Danny and I talked about it on Gamertag Radio. These are the only people I know what they think about Avowed. I don't know anything else. So I'm excited to hear it, and we'll find out tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific. Let's see what else we got here. Sean is saying, my wife is from Ohio and she loves LeBron. Now the Cavs are killing it this year. I'm happy for the Cavs to now have moved beyond LeBron and they're seeing real success, right? Because even when LeBron left the first time, when Kyrie and those guys came, they still weren't good. It wasn't until LeBron came back that obviously they became good again. And then they had another downtime. And now, look, they built it up. Yeah, I mean, they have a better than fair shot of winning the East and going to the finals this year. So it's going to look, NBA playoffs are going to be freaking wild this year. Cause anybody in the East, Boston, Cleveland, weirdly enough, Indiana's starting to play well again. I mean, we'll see. I'm disappointed in Orlando because I thought Orlando would be a lot better than they are. But I look in the West. I mean, OKC is obviously running away with it, but it would not shock me for Denver to beat OKC, right? I don't think OKC would want to play the Lakers. I think that would be their kryptonite, right? But then you look at, there's Memphis. Houston's doing their thing. Portland, even though I don't think they're doing that, they're weirdly starting to play very well. You never know what Minnesota's going to be able to do. Golden State, now that Jimmy Butler's there, who knows, get through the play and what they potentially could do. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild playoffs. We're really looking forward to it. Dirk Griggity is in the chat. Like I said, I've been ignoring the chat, so I apologize for that. And I got a super chat from Day Rizzy, a $2 super chat. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Everybody sending super chats, more than appreciate for sending that. It's not required. We're just having a conversation. But Day Rizzy with a $2 super chat is saying, my hometown is Cleveland. Let's go Cavs. Yeah, so I just talked about the Cavs. So you know what I'm saying? So wait. Oh, Dirk Griggity saying Ben Simmons is done. Yeah, he's done. Now he's on the Clippers. So it's like, yeah, he's not going to do anything. Wait a minute. At JB, show some respect. Wait, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. What else do we have here? LeBron needs to go back on a minimum to win another for Cleveland. No, he don't. He needed to stay with the purple and gold. Don't do that. Chase is asking what I hope to see the state of play. I actually talked about this earlier. I would love to see more of Ghost of Yote. I doubt we see anything with Wolverine. I would imagine. Wait, what's that? Sorry. I would imagine we're obviously going to see some third-party partner stuff, maybe some indie stuff as well. And like I said, don't be shocked to see some Xbox stuff on display too. So we'll see. I know there was some weird rumor about Starfield potentially being shown at this thing. Don't be shocked if it happens, because Starfield is 100% coming to PlayStation 5. I mean, Phil pretty much told you that with Destin. Let's see. Do I know the install size for Avowed? Yeah, I want to say it was 78 gigs. I want to say it's 78 gigs. That's what I think it is. I think on both PC and Xbox. I think that was both. I'll have more to say tomorrow. What else we got? Yeah, that Metal Gear. Yeah, Metal Gear would make a lot of sense here. So I would expect that too. Okay, Dirt Griggity with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, you know I lurk in your chat and I watch your stuff all the time. I don't necessarily always catch it live, so I watch a lot of it on delay. So it's always funny when I watch it on delay. And like I think you had mentioned me talking about some stuff with Avowed or stuff. I always laugh when I see that. But anyways, you are saying, what's your thoughts on WB and Ubisoft? Also seeing Crytek, Iron Galaxy, and all these layoffs. Should we be concerned? We should 1,000% be concerned about the gaming industry. And that's what, and I'm going to just keep it real here for a second. I get a lot of shit recently for, well, you said this 5 years ago and now you're saying this, or you're just towing the company line. You're just going by what Phil Spencer tells you to say. And that's not true, because number one, 5 years ago, the stuff that I said was true 5 years ago because nobody disagreed with me. So much so that Phil Spencer publicly acknowledge some of the stuff that I was saying. Like, damn, are you in our meetings or something? How do you know all this stuff, right? So the things with exclusivity and all that were very true back then. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because now Xbox has obviously flipped their business philosophy. The business plan has changed, right? We know that. So no, the things that I said 4 or 5 years ago are no longer valid. And my opinion on these things have somewhat changed because I have been educated on the current state of the industry and how dire it is. Don't think for a second that the industry is just flourishing the way that it was. Why do you think you're seeing all these layoffs, right? Because these games are not selling at this $70 clip the way that they were in previous generations. They're just not. You're not seeing the attach rate for all the PlayStation 5s that are out there. The attach rate of games to those 65, 70 million PlayStation 5s is low. And we obviously see the low count of hardware on the Xbox side. So Xbox, obviously, they got to survive. They got to monetize. They got to bring these games in more places. So that's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why PlayStation is doing what they're doing. Not as extreme, but they're doing it. So of course I'm going to talk about that stuff. Of course I'm going to bring these things up because like Iron Galaxy, like I know people there and see the layoffs. It's freaking heartbreaking, man. You're seeing all these layoffs across the industry. I want the gaming industry to survive. So people can argue about exclusivity and this and that and whatever. Number one, I've never cared about exclusivity other than I would see that, all right, of course they're going to bring these games exclusive because that's how it was set up 5-6 years ago, right? But people love to pull old clips on me. Go back in the Gamertag radio archives in the mid 2010s. I was saying then, I wish there was only one console and there weren't any exclusive. Let people play wherever the hell they want. That's always been my thing. Anyways, going to the point. Yeah, the gaming industry is not in that great of a place. There's a lot of hope surrounded around Grand Theft Auto 6 that is going to boost sales and an influx of people buying hardware and obviously buying that game and then as a result buying other games. So we'll see. But no, the gaming industry is not in a great place right now, and this is why we're seeing so much pain across the industry with people losing their jobs and seeing all these business plans flip and how do we monetize and how do we still grow and all these things. How can we lower these gaming budgets of these big AAA games that have exploded, right? That's why you're seeing all this stuff. That's why you see a BioWare laying off people and moving people, over to different teams to the point that BioWare is on 100 people now. Insane. So just think of it that way. But hope that answered the question. I'm seeing a bunch of super chats now, so let me grab all of these, and I appreciate it. Legendary Yobi with a $10 super chat. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. And what's this? Hashtag peace, love, life. Keep up the great work, my man. Mr. Flight Simulator, you are very important in the gaming space. Never let up on doing the continuous great work, Parris. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And I truly do appreciate that. But I will say that, and I say this all the time, my opinion doesn't mean any more than anyone else. I mean, I've been very lucky and fortunate for some of the opportunities that I've gotten in recent years, but it took a very long time to get to that point. Bro, I've been doing this since 2006. And that's another thing I think people don't realize is if you love doing something, you do it for the passion of it. And I've had that passion, since 2006, since I saw Danny Pena at an Xbox event and I go, man, I want to do this gaming stuff too. And then I decided to jump in and start doing it. And there were many years where, we would podcast every week on time, consistently. And when nobody's sending us no review codes, we weren't going to no events or hosting shows or any of that stuff. We're doing it because we love the passion of gaming, right? I love doing this. And yeah, I've gotten to a point now where I'm lucky enough, I've gotten all these crazy opportunities in the past few years, and it's heightened my public visibility in that. And, stuff I say gets magnified, and, I got Icon Era making whole ass threads talking about me with the stuff that I've said about exclusivity and all these weird things. And then obviously people like yourself, that appreciate the stuff that I do. I just take it all in stride, man, because it can all go away tomorrow. And I understand that. But even if it does go all the way tomorrow, I'm still going to be playing games. I'm still going to game. I'm still going to try and own all the systems and play all the fun games because that's what I love to do. And I'm still going to talk about it whether anybody pays attention to it or not, because that's what I love to do. And I probably always will. But no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And let's see, we here. Dayreezy with a $5 super chat. Again, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And wow, I appreciate it. Man, it's like 200 people here watching this. That's crazy. Don't know if you talked about it yet. How do you feel about the new E3? If you secure an invite, could I be your +1? I'm already in Nevada. Hey, we'll see. It was funny. Danny and I were talking about this the other day because it'll be April 2026 where they're going to do that. Yeah, I hope to be able to go. I definitely would love to go. I would love to be a participant in it, honestly, because it sounds like they're going to have panels and talks and things like that. Because sure, you want to hear from the leaders in this industry, right? The people that are actually making the decisions about the future of where gaming is going. But I do think it's also important to hear from some of the creators as well and our perspective on stuff. Not that, I'm making any kind of crazy decisions, but kind of looking at it from my point of view, where I think the industry is headed and what we think potentially needs to happen. So at least it gives a different point of view, right? So we'll see. Like I said, I hope I get an invite because I definitely would love to go next year, but I appreciate the $5 super chat. And as far as being my +1, we'll see. I have no idea. I have no idea how it works yet, but we'll see. But you being in Nevada obviously helps. And so Kevin's asked me about Luka's first game as a Laker. I kind of talked about this already. No, feeling good. I mean, clearly he's going to be super rusty in that first game. They smartly picked Utah instead of Indiana to be the first game, so there'd be less pressure because Utah's not that great of a team. But I think overall, here's what I'll say that I didn't talk about before. The irony out of all of this, Austin Reeves is a hooper, dude. Austin Reeves is the one who he looking at LeBron and Luka like, this is my team, punk. What y'all talking about? But nah, they weirdly have a big three now that we didn't realize you would have with Austin Reeves, because you will always have a primary ball handler on the floor at all times between the three of them now, because obviously we know Luka's probably gonna be number one guy. LeBron would be the number two guy. And then whenever they're not on foul trouble or they're both resting, which, JJ Redick was experimenting with in that game the other night, Austin Reeves has shown he's more than capable of being the primary guy. And he did that against Indiana when Luka and LeBron were out, where he dropped 45 on them. Yeah, I love Austin Reeves. I love his story. I love watching his progression from being just this undrafted dude coming in, LeBron taking him under his wing, and just every year he gets better and better. Just, yeah. So again, Laker magic. I don't know, just the luck of the Lakers that they keep finding these dudes. So, okay, let me go through the rest of these chats here. And again, I appreciate all y'all hanging out as I'm talking about this. And Chael's asking me, do I think God of War Egypt could happen? What about Kratos freezing the Sphinx in a boss battle? I mean, I've seen the rumors. It would make a lot of sense that that's the next logical place to take Kratos, take him to Egypt and do that. So I hope it happens. I really do. I hope it does happen. And not that I'm expecting to see it in the state of play later today, but wouldn't shock me in the next year or so it gets officially announced. And Chase is saying, been watching you grinding since Gamertag Radio. It's been a long ride, but you have arrived with grace and your ethics intact. No, I shouldn't even laugh other than I appreciate that. I laugh because there's definitely some people that don't think my ethics are intact because, they tie everything to this brand loyalty weirdness and all this other stuff. I will say my opinion is always my opinion. And I would hope that people that have paid attention to me, over the long haul should know that when I need to criticize something, I definitely criticize it. Like if you go back and watch that Phil Spencer interview that we just did, I literally opened it talking about the first time I ever talked to him in 2014. The first words off my lips to him were, I don't like Connect, and here's why. You know what I mean? So it's not being afraid to criticize something or give reasons why. I mean, again, same interview. All right, you talking about the strategy of multi-platform, you want to enable your creators, reach the most people possible, which totally makes sense. I get it. But at the same time, you're still trying to sell hardware. Why would I buy your hardware? Right? That's why I asked him. He gave an answer. We'll see if it works. I don't know. I have no idea if it's going to work, but we'll see. What is the innovative thing that Xbox is going to do with their hardware that's going to make me still want to buy it, when the argument could be, well, I'll just buy a PlayStation. I get all the PlayStation games, all the third-party games, and all the Xbox games. So why would I buy an Xbox? Whereas, okay, I buy an Xbox. Sure, I get all the Xbox games. I assume I get the vast majority of third-party games, especially with that new strategy, but I get none of the PlayStation games. I get none of the Nintendo games, right? So that's the thing that them, and I'm sure they've asked themselves this question already, but that's the thing they have to answer for themselves. What is going to be so innovative about this hardware that I still want to buy it? Yes, you can argue the services, you can argue Game Pass, all these things, play anywhere. I get it. Because yeah, I would take advantage of those, but we'll see. The one thing I know they'll make that I would definitely get day one is that handheld. If it is truly an Xbox, not a PC handheld, but an Xbox, I'll get that handheld. Same as I would a Switch. And Danny Passion, $2. I'm concerned about DEI and Avowed. No, wait, I'm concerned about DI and Avowed non-intrusive, please. I'm just not even going to comment on anything Avowed related until tomorrow. And then I would answer that question after, the embargo lifts, because I don't even want to creep in on any of my thoughts about Avowed and that stuff. So until then, I'm not even going to bring that one up. All right, let's see. Is it why I specifically said it? Screw those weirdos. Gaming is worse off with that poison. Yeah, it is. That's why, look, one thing about me being more in the public space and having a voice that, has been magnified is I will absolutely give my opinion on that stuff. That's why with the South of Midnight stuff yesterday and just seeing people just be complete idiots and hateful racists, bigots online with certain comments. Yeah, you're damn right I called that stuff out because it was expected. You knew it was going to happen. That's what social media has turned into. It's just a very hateful place, So yeah, I'm going to call it out for what it is, because you get to be a bigot that hides behind an anime avatar and nobody knows who you are. You get to do that. And you get to say whatever you want because there's no consequence or repercussion. So yeah, as a black man, you're absolutely right. I spoke out on it. And, of course, there were some of the usual suspects that tried to antagonize it and, do the whataboutism thing. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And, I just ignore them and I move on, and they can yell into the void, because my thing is I am down to always have a reasonable conversation. But when you start off being unreasonable, I'm not going to engage with you, and I just move on. So that's what that is. And we'll keep going here. So someone's asking, when did the Avowed review drop? Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific will be the Avowed review. Everybody will be allowed to put out their reviews or thoughts, impressions, all that stuff. I have 2 reviews coming out tomorrow. One with Gamertag Radio, which will be right at embargo, and then Kind of Funny's review will be at its Gamescast. So about 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. Pacific time up in there somewhere, but we've already recorded it. And what is this there? Hold on a second. Okay, saying something. My wife saying something to my son. What do we have here? Okay, Danny Passion Fisher. Oh, yeah, and you didn't even have to send a super chat to say that, but you're saying I'm not hating. Just to be clear, and I didn't think you were. I don't want to intrude on any thoughts about the game until embargo, so I'm just being extra careful to not talk about it. That's all. What do we have here? Chase talking about Adamfall. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. It's a day one for me. The little bit I did get to play back at LA Gamescom kind of really sold me on it. So I'm really looking forward to this when it comes out into March, I believe. And it's on Game Pass too. So that's another kudo for that. And what do we have here? Cooper is saying, awesome. Really looking forward to hopping in Avowed tomorrow. That's right, because the early access is also tomorrow. So yeah, people actually get hands on with it. I think, what is it? A few hours after the embargo, people can go hands on with Avowed. You can actually start playing it. And I think the way it works with Game Pass, you pay $20 and you get into the early access or something like that. So, you know, obviously people will make their own choices on if they would rather just wait or if they want to spend the money, play it early and go from there. What do we have here? Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought up the camera. So here, I will fix that. There we go. I have to remember that my camera will pick up things behind me. Like if I slightly move, hold on, let me bring this thing back into focus there. There we go. All right. No, it's not. This is the 4090. It's not the 5090. It's the 4090. What? Yeah. See, it's 4090. I don't know what to do with it yet. I'm not selling it. I'm not giving it away. I'm gonna build another machine. I just don't know what yet. So that's why I kind of just have it hanging out. But definitely thinking of just doing something fun with it. Build a second machine. Probably give it to one of my kids. What do we have here? Question: what are your personal goals for your channel and for me? Bro, I don't know what the personal channel, because it really comes down to time for me. Hold on, let me grab some water. I'm still getting over being sick, so I do apologize. But with the personal channel, it just comes down to time, because obviously my day job takes priority. Like this week, we had a crazy cutover and incident that just took up a ton of my time. Between Sunday night and Monday night, I slept a total of 4 hours, right? Last night was the first time I actually got some decent sleep. So I'm just still recovering from that. But anyways, the point is, it just comes down to time. I would love to do more live chat stuff. I would love to do more reviews and previews and stuff on the channel. It just really, like I said, comes to time. I would imagine this year, second half of the year, that'll probably free up. I'll be able to do more stuff with the channel. But right now it's just a very busy time of the year for me, work wise. And personally, when it just comes to just gaming and content creation overall, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be in the position that I am. Don't get me wrong with all the opportunities that I have, but my motto is I do this because it's fun. If it's not fun, I'll just stop doing it. I mean, I get, obviously people here, I appreciate all the kind words. I get all the criticisms and things that I get. At the same time, I don't let stuff bother me. It's like, I do this because I love to do it. And it's not ever going to stop me from giving my opinion on anything. But if this ever stops feeling fun to me, I'll just walk away. I'll just walk away and just be private citizen Parris gamer dude. Stop smearing. Oh, I guess you're talking about the focus stuff. Edgar's asking me what graphics card did I buy. So to be clear, NVIDIA sent me the 5090. I have a 5090. That's what I'm using now. So, I did an unboxing video and I've talked about it, as far as review stuff goes as well. So I do appreciate that. Like my daughter's PC that I built for her a couple of years back, it's 3080 Ti in that. And obviously I have this 4090, which NVIDIA had sent to me a couple of years ago, at launch for that as well, because I was doing some sponsor stuff for them on that as well. What else do we have here? And Ross is saying, highly respect you having a full-time job, family, work on your passion on the side. So many people think they have to go into something full-time or give up and want to participate. Yeah, I mean, I know where my priorities is. It's my job. Like if I literally got a work message right now saying, hey, I was like, oh, stream's over, I'm going to go do that. Because that's a priority. I do this. I'm lucky enough to be in a job where, I will have periods of free time, right, where I can do this stuff. And then, there's always after hours, lack of sleep, things like that to do the passion stuff. And like I said before, as long as it's fun, that's all I care about. As long as it's fun, and I'm able to do it, I'll do it. If it stops being fun, I just simply won't do it. But I appreciate that. And a homeless cat, as a fellow veteran, thank you for your service. Love to see representation in the gaming community. No, let me give it right back to you. No, thank you for your service. I mean, you know, we're a family when it comes to, you know, veterans, you know, all my brothers and sisters, man, because I don't think a lot of people understand the sacrifice that you have to do when you're in the military. You're away from your family, away from your friends. You know, like I was in the Navy, you're out in the middle of the freaking Indian Ocean or freaking Persian Gulf for weeks and months at a time. You know what I mean? You know, because I'm old, I was in the Navy during the 90s, and if you've ever watched that movie Black Hawk Down, I was the real life events of that. I was there and extracting people out of Somalia at the time. And between that and some stuff that we did in the Persian Gulf, that was the longest I'd ever been on a ship without getting off. I think it was 72 days total where we never hit port, did anything, and was on there, you know. And this was during the summertime. It was crazy times. But, you know, there's sacrifice stuff that you have to do. I've been lucky enough because of the military. I've been all over the world. I've seen all kind of cultures, people, just things. I'm very lucky with that, and instilled a lot of discipline in me and the work ethic that I still have today. But I know I'm ranting on this a little bit, but nothing but love for my veterans. That's why when I've seen people going after Call of Duty Endowment, which is a program that is set up by Activision to help veterans, you know, once they are, you know, out of service and find jobs and just all of these things. It's a great program. So when I saw that stuff being attacked a few weeks ago, I said something, because it's just silly talk. You don't know what you're talking about. And as a result, it's like, don't speak out of ignorance on things that you don't understand, because you won't have some weirdo agenda on social media to get engagement. So I'll move on from that. And Ether Gamer is asking me, when do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 will drop? Okay, again, they are saying it is coming out this year. I do not believe them at all. I think it's 2026. I think spring 2026. That's just my guess. But let's just, for pretend, say it does come out this year. If it does come out this year, I'd say it'll be October 2025. That'll be my guess. And what else am I missing? I did see another message above. Did I miss that? Okay, Red Misfit. I'm glad you bring this up. So, and there we go. Me doing the stupid camera thing again. There we go. Yeah. It keeps, because I really need to put something on that door, because I have that lighting behind me too. And that also takes things out of focus sometimes. So work in progress. But Red Misfit, let me answer this question for you. So it goes, Parris, I hear you talking about games being everywhere, but we do live in a capitalist society. Doesn't make sense to live in a world where consoles do not have any exclusives to support their business. Bro, here's what I'll say to that. I view this from the point of a consumer. I always will. As a consumer, why would I care that a game has an exclusive? I don't. I truly don't. It does not bother me as a consumer. If I can play a game on an Xbox, you get to play the same game on a PlayStation, or vice versa. Now, to the point of what you're saying, I understand we are in a capitalist society. And I understand business. You got to make money. And the reasons why exclusivity has existed, you know, over the 40 years of gaming, right? Because let's just take this generation. People in 2020 bought an Xbox because they wanted to play Halo, they wanted to play Gears, they wanted to play Forza, all of that. People bought a PlayStation because they wanted to play God of War, Uncharted, etc. Obviously, the Switch, you want to play Mario, Metroid, all of that. Xbox is trying to flip the script on that mid-gen. Don't agree with it. I think they should have done this at the start of the next generation so customers can make an informed decision. I want to be clear on that. But as I was saying before, gaming industry is in terrible shape. So you got to make money. So you have to pivot and you have to do what you got to do to try and make more money. Same thing that you just said, being a capitalist society. So I understand what the rules have been. Clearly, Xbox is doing something outside of the box, something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's why you're seeing this. I will say again, me personally, I could care less if games are everywhere. Hell, put Nintendo games everywhere too. I don't care. That's me. But I understand why companies do the things that they do. Whether we agree with them or not, I would rather them do something that ultimately provides me more value That's always how I'm going to look at something as a customer. Give me more value on something. Make my dollar mean more versus what it currently is. And at least with something like Game Pass, and you're arguing about Game Pass and all that stuff. Game Pass is a great value because I know I can spend X amount a year and I get access to X amount of games. That is a good value for me. So you may not agree, but that's kind of my stance on it. So I hope that makes sense. And Gaz, Parris, be honest, Spencer doesn't like the multi-plat strat. He was forced by Satya. You know it, I know it, Aaron Greenberg's mate knows it. I don't disagree, but and appreciate that, Gaz. Here's what I'll say. He has talked about multi-plat over the years, but it is crystal clear that when you just spent $80-90 billion, there needs to be a return on investment. Current state of hardware sales by Xbox. Clearly, their leadership did not want to take a risk of let's play out the rest of the gen with these games being exclusive and see if that sells more hardware and boosts our sales. They didn't want to take that risk. So they were like, no, we're going multi-platform. Bottom line. And I just think people need to get on board with that what they were saying 3, 4, 5 years ago is not what they're going to say today. And it is triggered by, we got to make money. He has said many times, I have to run a profitable business. So if this is what he has to do to run a profitable business, this is what he has to do. I think what a lot of people mistake with me is they just think I'm on board with this. I've said many times, like people pulled a clip from me back in last January where I'm like, if Halo and Gears goes out, I understand if people pull out the pitchforks or however the hell I said it, because I meant it at the time and I still get it. I am not telling anyone to not be upset about this. I'm not. You have every right to be upset about this. But what I am saying is they're going to do it. They are doing it. So you either accept it and get on board with it or you don't. But I will say, I still want the games that they're making, right? Whether they're on PlayStation or wherever, I still want to be able to play a lot of these games. And that's just how I look at it. And I understand people being upset by it and people not liking it. But what I will say as an adult, I don't care if someone else gets to play the same game that I do. But I also will say, as we go into this next generation, they are going to have to do a lot to convince people to buy Xbox hardware. So whatever this technical leap is, whatever the innovation is, it's going to have to do something so freaking unique that you will willingly still want to buy an Xbox when you know you can play those games on your competitor's platform. So we'll see. And I appreciate that, guys, because like I said, I think some people think that I'm insensitive to that or I don't care. I do, but I'm a logical person. I see where it's headed, so I talk about it and I understand it. So we'll see. And T-Mock, Phil did not say some things will remain exclusive. Let's rip the Band-Aid off of this stuff so that people understand what's happening. Any game moving forward, if that studio has the resources and the means, you're going to see games go day and date. Like, don't be shocked if Fable's day and date on PlayStation, as an example, right? I think he is talking more of something like Redfall. If it financially doesn't make sense to go in the back catalog and port a game over to something, they're not going to do it. So like Redfall is not going to be on PlayStation because it doesn't make sense to put it on PlayStation, right? So expect everything to be multi-platform. Don't expect exclusivity on anything. That's just my personal opinion. That's how I interpret the things that he has said. Don't think anything new coming from them. Like South of Midnight will eventually be on a PlayStation, as an example. Avowed will eventually be on a PlayStation. Moving forward, expect games to be on all platforms. The only games that... Wait a minute. I'm answering this one a second. But don't expect anything, to just be exclusive to Xbox. They're going to put all these games there. And again, it just comes down to studio resources and time. So we'll see. And I kind of distracted me. Day Rizzy goes, that was Kumbaya Parris back then. You're speaking to villain Arc Debo Parris now. Yeah, Gaz always gives me a bunch of shit about Kumbaya. And I'll say again, I don't want to be a negative dude. I always want to look at the positive side of things, but I am a realist at the same time. I'm gonna shoot you straight. I'm not gonna blow smoke on something if I don't think it's happening. But like I said, I purposely don't go hunting for inside information or whatever. I don't know nothing unless someone comes and tells me something. So every now and again, I'll know something ahead of time. But a lot of times, if you watch me on Xcast or wherever talking about something, I'm just giving you my opinion. It's not like I got some secret source or anything, or someone's whispered in my ear. If I do know something, I try to avoid even talking about it at all because I don't want to betray anybody's trust. So that's all, and like I said, I'm not even sitting there saying my opinion is right on anything. I'm wrong a lot, but I'm always just going to tell you what I think. And yeah, ask about prediction on state of play. I've talked about it a few times already. We'll see. Like I said, I hope we'll see Ghost of Yotei. Don't expect anything like Wolverine. I expect to see some Xbox games today over there as well. Do you think Phil, during a meeting with Satya, tried to make Call of Duty a console exclusive? Well, it's funny with Call of Duty, because I remember when that first went down, and again, you could probably pull some old Xcast and see what I was saying then. We all kind of agreed. Like I remember initially when the initial news came out, I was like, damn, are they going to make Call of Duty exclusive? And then the more you thought about it, I was like, Call of Duty makes too much money. They're not going to do that. I don't. So even from the get, I never thought they were going to make Call of Duty exclusive. And then clearly they ain't making anything exclusive now. So we'll see. And Ozzy goes, I will get one for Game Pass because even though PC is my main platform, I like to play consoles often enough to buy. And I'm sure that's a selling point, but that can't be the only selling point for Xbox hardware is Game Pass, because the Game Pass numbers dictate that most people don't subscribe to Game Pass. God, what was a conversation I had with someone? I think they were saying like 20% or something like that. So that's not going to be the thing that's going to get the majority of people to run out and go get Xbox hardware. The truth on it is I expect the next Xbox hardware to be a niche product moving forward. Maybe 20 million, maybe 30 if they're lucky, we'll see. But it's going to be more niche. They're going to have hardware that they can still help dictate where console tech is going, but the majority of hardware it's sold is still going to be a PlayStation and a Switch, my opinion. And let's see, what else do we have here? Hire Arcos. What can MS do to assure fans that we're all in with Xbox at Showcase? New hardware still coming. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. I think you show it. I think you I shouldn't say show it as far as the final hardware, but I think that conversation should start happening at this showcase. Maybe not specifically in the showcase itself, but around that time when obviously everyone's paying attention to Xbox and what they're doing, start talking about the next generation of hardware. I know Jason Ronald alluded to, their Windows, their hybrid Xbox Windows strategy at CES this year, and we'd find out more later this year. So I think that's the time. Talk about that. Kind of give people a peek into whatever this handheld is going to be, and obviously the console under your television is going to be. Is it going to be open platform? Can I install third-party digital storage on it? All that stuff. Start talking about it, even though we probably don't get it till like 2027 or something like that. And what else do we have here? Actually, let me look at time. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been doing this for an hour. So actually, I'll probably start wrapping this up in about the next 10 minutes or so. So I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out. Wow. Like 250 people here. That's crazy. Where are we? I've said this before, and I think as soon as Xbox goes full multi-plat, Sony will not be far behind. I don't think this decade you will see PlayStation games on any Xbox hardware unless it's some weird hybrid PC and you're basically installing it through Steam. But yeah, of course, PlayStation's going more multi-platform. Why do you think that Bungie rumor today about their game being on Switch and PC? They're not going to go 100% multi-plat, but they're going to go about 90%. Whereas I think the exclusion would be Xbox. And I think as they ramp up their studios and resources, you're going to see more and more games go on PC day and date. You're going to see games go to Switch that makes sense to be on that platform. They're going to do it because at the end of the day, it's a business, capitalist. You're trying to make money. Why wouldn't you put your games in as many places as possible to make the most money? And that's what I think is happening across the industry. And I think the current state of the industry, you kind of have to do it. And oh, hey, Parris, I missed most of the morning chat. Please keep it up so I can watch it again. Okay, just for you, I'm going to sign off and then I'm gonna just let it run for like an hour. No, I mean, when I end it, this will replay, so you can still go back and watch it. You'll be fine. And I know Embargo, but looking forward to Avowed. Yeah, like I said before, I only know what a few people think about Avowed because we did a review. Other than that, I'm very interested to hear what other people have to say about it tomorrow. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting day. And Brad is saying niche Xbox, that's a traditional console, mix that with a portable handheld Xbox, and then together it could end up being closer to the numbers that PS5 gets in sales. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I really want to know how they're going to do this handheld. I want it to truly be an Xbox. I don't think either of these devices are going to be cheap moving forward. They're going to be pricey too. So I think that's going to factor into it as well. It's almost, I know it's not a direct correlation to what they do with Surface, but similar to Surface that, hey, we're essentially making reference models. Maybe they license it out to other manufacturers as well. And you'll see various power levels and pricing levels on those devices. But we'll see. Like I said, I have no idea if any of this stuff is going to work. It's going against the traditional way that we've done it. And we'll see. My biggest complaint is them doing it the middle of this generation. If they did it to start the next generation, if they came out and said, look, these games for Series X, these are all going to be exclusive. But as we transition into the next generation of Xbox, we're going to start putting games on multiple platforms. We just think that's best for business, blah, 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 the whole speech, da, da, da. Now you know. Now you know, hey, do I really want to go buy this Xbox moving forward? At least I know this generation, these games are exclusive. The reason you sold this box to me is still valid. But the next box you're going to try and sell to me, the rules don't apply. Do I want to buy it? Do I need to buy it? I'm informed as a consumer. I get to make that decision. Obviously, we know enough now that's going to happen anyways. But I think the complaint that people have about the current gen is, in 2020, you sold me on X, Y, and Z. You reinforced it a year later when you acquired Bethesda, when you said, these games where Game Pass exists, or however you said it, right? It was still about exclusives. But now, a couple years after that, it's no longer the case. So I understand people being upset by it, and I understand the hypocrisy of it. I understand my own hypocrisy on it because I know what I've said, but it was valid at the time, and I don't work there and I don't make decisions there. So yeah, they made myself and other people definitely look like hypocrites on that, but you learn from it, you understand it, and you move forward and you speak about where they're going from a more educated point of view. And who knows, the business plan could change again. All this might be wrong. We never know. Someone's saying like the 3DO. Yep. Because they were doing that. I remember because I was in the Navy at the time. Someone had the Panasonic 3DO. And I don't remember the name of the game, like some space game. And we would just play that all the time. And that was like the only game I ever played on the 3DO. And might not have been a viable business move at the end of maybe. And again, I'm not smart enough to know why they make the decisions that they make. Clearly, I'm not there. I'm just kind of, brainstorming, spitballing on what I think could have been. Because I think the other argument that a lot of people have is, you didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even really give having Bethesda and Activision games as exclusives a chance, right? We obviously the Elder Scrolls 6 stuff like that could have been exclusive. We know it's not going to be now, right? You're just now here in 2025 getting to that cadence of awesome games that you could be saying are exclusive, and you can't do that now because of this. So, it is what it is. And it's telling me have a great day. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on Avowed. Yep, tomorrow 6 a.m. they will be out there. And morning Parris in chat. Dang. Oh, you didn't know I was prior server? Yep, I was in the United States Navy. I went to boot camp in San Diego, California, Company 111. I then joined Pac Fleet, and I was stationed in Sasebo, Japan on the USS Bellawood. And I was in Japan for 3 years, and then I came back to San Diego, and I was in the Top Gun hangar at Miramar, and I was a part of Aircraft Squadron, F-14 Squadron VF2, and we were attached to the USS Constellation, and I did that. We wound up moving over to Virginia, so I was stationed out of not Norfolk, but NES Oceana in Virginia, near Norfolk in Virginia Beach. but we're still part of Constellation. So I would fly back across the country, get on the Constellation, do all that stuff at VF2. And then I'll never forget, one day I called who would become my wife at 2:00 in the morning. I said, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to get out. And I got out, and the rest is history. I've been in San Diego ever since. Wouldn't it suck if Grand Theft Auto 6 gets delayed another year? Because let's be honest, we're all getting older, not younger. Each year that goes by is making me feel too old to play it. Man, I'm gonna never feel too old to play any video game. I'm gonna play video games until the bitter end. That's the one thing. I mean, I'm probably one of the first generations that was introduced to video games, late 70s, early 80s. On a large scale, like Atari 2600, obviously the arcades and all that. So I've pretty much grown up with gaming. So it's just always been a part of my life. So I don't see me ever stopping gaming. Why would I? Did I see Top Gun and decide on the Navy? No, I saw myself at Florida State University flunking out and my mom giving me an ultimatum of you either get a job or you join the military. I actually was joining the Air Force, and I changed my mind at MEPS, which is the military. It's like basically like where they give you physicals and all that. I forget the exact acronym for MEPS. Anyways, I'm there with all these different military people that's joined the Air Force, joined the Navy, the Army, Marines, etc. And I'll never forget being in line with these dudes that were going to the Navy, and they were like, man, you don't want to go to Air Force, man. They're going to put you at a base in Topeka, Kansas, and that's where you're going to be the whole time. It's going to suck and blah, blah, blah. He's like, man, I'm joining the Navy. I'm going to go get to see the world. I'm going to get to do this. I'm going to get to do that. And they literally talked me into, in MEPS, they go, yeah, I don't want to go to Air Force. I want to go to the Navy. And I joined the Navy, and they were right, because it was awesome. It was an awesome time in my life, and I got to see the world. So it's definitely not something I regret. What else do we have here? Oh, your sister was a Navy pilot. Awesome. Yeah, my sister, she was Air Force. And like I said, because I'm kind of was following her footsteps. She was Air Force. And then, yeah, I wound up doing Navy. Yeah, Victor Lucas. I mean, I've been very lucky. Again, the people that I've been able to meet over the years in this industry. And when I think about Victor Lucas, Electric Playground, that's what I used to watch back in the day. That's what I was a fan of. And to get to know him over the years and to do content with him and all that, it's just been such an honor. I mean, that dude is an absolute legend in this industry. Really great guy. And how did I get into cybersecurity considering career switch? So again, this is why I get to do live chat. I just get to talk about whatever I want. So I'll tell this story super quick. This is how I got into cybersecurity. So while I was in the Navy, again, this is when I'm in VF2. We basically, I was an aviation airman, or not airman, aviation administration man is what I meant to say, AZ. And I used to keep all the maintenance records for the F-14s. That was my job. I used to sit in flight deck control the whole thing. And because of that, it was a Unix-based system at the time. That's where we kept all the records. So I somehow, some way became the quote unquote IT guy for our squadron, me and a couple other guys. So we were doing stuff in Unix, and then Windows 3.1.1 was around at that time going into 95, and we were doing stuff in Windows and all that. So that got me into IT. So then when I got out, I actually got a job working for Sony in San Diego at the Sony Technology Center up in North San Diego. And I worked on a help desk there. I migrated from that over to doing desktop support. Then I was working in the data center there. So I was doing ops stuff. And then I pivoted off of that and I actually worked for San Diego County doing the same thing. I was doing like Windows admin stuff, sysadmin stuff, Exchange stuff, got into networking, all that. Pivoted off of that. I went to Orange County doing the same thing. And I worked at Orange County. And I was Exchange admin at the time. And there was a big migration back then going from, it was going from NT and Windows 2000 to, we're going to 2003 or Windows Server 2. Anyways, we're doing a big Windows Server migration. But the point is, the security team was looking for someone to join the team. And we all know each other, we're all talking. And one of the guys on the security team recommended me. And I remember talking to my boss at the time. He's like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. You should go for it. So I went for it. And I remember who wound up being my boss in security. I'll never forget these words he told me. And I hold by them to this very day. Whenever I'm interviewing someone or onboarding someone, he told me, I don't care what you know. I just care that you're willing to learn. Because I didn't know jack shit about security at the time, other than just the basics, from a sysadmin level. So that always stuck with me. He is, to this day, one of the best mentors I've ever had. And that team that I had back then, I mean, some of the smartest people I've ever worked with. And I learned a lot and, got a ton of experience. And that's how I got in. That was 2005 when I got into security. I've just been in security ever since. And I've just, gone up to the point where I'm at now. But one funny thing I also say about that, and I just take this philosophy too, don't be afraid to fail with anything. Something I did at one point, we were doing some big major, we're doing like a firewall cutover or something, and we're migrating everything from these old firewalls to these new ones, and it wasn't like a one-to-one translation, so we had to kind of manually do some stuff because you couldn't automate everything. But anyways, I wind up taking down the entire Orange County network for a weekend because I effed up something that I did. I was convinced I was going to get fired. They're going to fire me. They're going to let me go. There's no way. And again, my boss at the time, mentor, was like, don't panic. We'll figure it out. We'll resolve it. We'll work on it. We'll get it done. And that's what we did. And I take that philosophy too on that. Just because you F up something, don't panic, right? Anytime I'm involved in an incident, something happens, whatever, I don't panic. It's just like, okay, we will figure this out. And we do. I literally have been doing that this week because we had something where I had to work on over a 2-day period. I'm like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. So long story to say, that's how I got into cybersecurity. Oh, that makes sense. We need a show on my life. No, my life is pretty boring, actually. What time is it here? Yeah, I should probably go ahead and start wrapping this up. Crazy, there's still 200 people here. But I do want to say, I want to thank people for hanging out here in the stream. Because I got a meeting in like 45 minutes. But this is fun. Like I said, I just wanted to jump on and just do something because I hadn't done it in about a week. And I want to continue to do it. So real quick, am I still training at the gym? I have not been to the gym about 2 weeks because I've just been so sick. I'm actually probably about to start going again. Just physically, I've just not felt well enough to really go, but I'm going to start going again for sure because got to stay healthy, man. But again, to the point as I wrap this up, I appreciate you all hanging out. I appreciate all the super chats that you guys have been sending me. I love having this back and forth dialogue. I know, Tucker, if you're still here or not, I apologize. I kind of got on a roll talking, so I didn't bring anybody in via Discord, but I definitely want to start doing that, have on-air conversations and stuff like that. But I will say South of Midnight previews are out right now. Definitely go check those out. Avowed review will be out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm fascinated to see what people are going to be saying about that game tomorrow. I have my thoughts and you will all know them tomorrow. But it's great. It's a good time for games. The industry may not be great right now, but there's a lot of great games that are coming out. Obviously, we'll see the state of play later today. Looking forward to that. We're kind of seeing the roadmap of what Xbox is doing. We know Switch 2 is on the way, the games that'll be coming with that. So, I mean, if you're a gamer, it's a good time. And I hope people keep that in mind. The whole point of all this is for us to have fun doing this, not the bickering back and forth about my console is better than yours or sales numbers and 20-page novels people write on Twitter about why exclusivity matters. I honestly don't care about any of that stuff. Just go play games is all I have to say. Play games, have fun with it. And that's it. That's all I got. I will also say, make sure you check out Gamertag Radio tomorrow. Make sure you check out Kind of Funny tomorrow. And let me know what you think about Avowed. I will be very curious to see what people think. And until the next time, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you later.